Good morning from Larnaca in Cyprus. This is Andrew Bridgewater at thementalhealthcoach.net, and I want to share another video postcard with you today on this beautiful morning. It's early, before 7:30. I'm up riding my bicycle, and I wanted to talk briefly today about uncertainty. I've just arrived here several hundred feet up to realise I've got a puncture in the bike, and bike is just behind me there, and I'm going to have to walk back and repair it, which is quite frustrating. It's downhill. It's not a big deal, but the point is that nothing is certain in life, and I set off this morning thinking, oh, I'll be fine, kind of up there in the hills, don't need a puncture repair kit or a pump, and then suddenly here I am with a flat. That's a really trivial example, but I want to talk more about uncertainty because there's a lot of it about at the moment. I'm thinking particularly about students who've had considerable inconvenience around their A-levels and GCSEs this year. None of us would have predicted what was going to happen at New Year's Eve 2019, and here we are in huge uncertainty. But nothing is certain in life, as they say, apart from death and taxes. And we have to be able to deal with that in some way. Now, I just gave you a very trivial example earlier on, but if we think that life will turn out pretty much as we expect it to do, we're going to have some shocks, and I certainly have in my life. One of my sort of distilled wisdoms is that nothing is going to turn out exactly as we expect it to do. And we need to realise that life has our backs. We actually have a psychological safety mechanism built into our psychology, because life has infinite wisdom. But when we get up in our heads and have a lot of thinking about situations or problems or things that we want to have certainty about, then we get in the way of that infinite wisdom of life. And we get stressed, we get anxious, we get worried. And that's what I did very significantly in 2006, and I've shared the story in other videos, but very briefly, I ended up in a psychiatric hospital over a financial decision I made here out in Cyprus, which I beat myself up for. And I had some understanding of what I thought was going to happen. That's not what happened back in 2006, and I worried myself almost to death about it. Now, that's quite a serious example, moving on from the trivial one I mentioned earlier about the puncture, but nothing is certain, and we need to accept that. Sorry, I've got a fly just buzzing around me. We need to accept that things won't always turn out as we expect. But life often has better plans, and that's what I've discovered, and here I am 14 years later enjoying those better plans that life had for me, which I could never have envisaged. So if you're someone who's suffering with uncertainty and worrying about uncertainty at the moment, I'd just like you to live with that thought that life has your back, the universe has infinite wisdom, and will show you the right path. May not be the one that you're anticipating at the moment. I'll say a lot more about this in my free audio course at thementalhealthcoach.net, so do have a look at that, and I'll share another piece from Larnaca in Cyprus with you very soon. This is Andrew Bridgewater, Chartered Psychologist at thementalhealthcoach.net. Bye for now.